Yeah.
So, yeah, this whole soulmate thing.
Wow.
It was the wolf blood full moon eclipse, and then boom.
That was great. Did
Yeah,
how many people ended up like, getting a soulmate reading?
I've done 15.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. And so, okay, so it was a free offer, but that was half the people in the group.
Yeah.
Um, but three of them donated something. So, and then one of them, I don't know if you went on there at all today, one of them wants to share it. And so I need to make up something that's like an easy way to understand what the offer is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's always fun when, yeah. Oh, wow.
So I had to really check in. I was really skeptical at what this doesn't. I don't know. Jesus won't do this. Why would I? You know, is this really love and truth? Is it? Am I doing something to feed the addictive part? Because there's all kinds of addictive stuff around love and soulmates and um, but they just, they're insistent. And
Uh-huh.
um, it doesn't, I still haven't totally reconciled that how is it not feeding the addiction, or how is it not doing for them what they could be doing for themselves? Because it is doing that, really.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as I get so far, it's just that, well, here's here's a little piece that might at least motivate you to take it further, to notice gifts being offered all the time, or that just dredges up your stuff, which is also a you're welcome thing.
Well, it kind of did that for me. I noticed that right away. I was like, oh, now I've got to kind of deal with, um, oh, but I don't live there. Oh, but I've never visited there. Oh, that's way far out. And then I recognized that my mind started like just cranking out like all sorts of questions and doubt and judgment and stuff like that. And then I was like, whoa, that's the point of this.
All
So
right.
it's to just, and then if you recognize that, you just can, yeah. And then I since had that dream. Um, and then I've had just like other little mini dreams and visions of like what a soulmate should be. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, like by watching your meditation again, the one with the circle,
Mm-hmm.
it made me really think about like, because, that's a good soulmate thing. What do we do when we just get away from our, facades and our masks and we just sort of laugh and we're just with each other and that's it. So,
Right. Right. What if you walked out and you could see the energy coming from people, and the soulmate energy was, going somewhere from everybody? You would not follow them. You would follow your own thing to wherever it was going.
right. And even if you could see, someone was like trying to engage with you, but you saw soulmate energy going somewhere else,
Right.
you could just sort of step back or just see it for what it is. Like, oh yeah, well, let's be friends and go on dates. But yeah, I'm kind of sensing that this isn't right. I mean,
Yeah. You just have to know that I'm looking for my soulmate, but let's have some fun. In the meantime, if you're up
okay, maybe we'll be friends, you
to,
know,
yeah.
yeah. And just what would that be like? And I think that sometimes relationships are so based on like this society we tell it's like manipulation and you move in together, you split household chores and then it becomes like this really interesting negotiation all throughout it. And it's just,
Transaction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. this manipulative transaction thing, and even, and I don't know about that firsthand, just some of the stuff, but like there's this whole thing where there's so many expectations when people have relationships. They're like, oh, well, I want to be with them for a certain amount of time, then I hope I can move in with them, and then I hope we get married, then I hope we have children, and I hope
Right.
and so some people have that all figured out right away, and there's really no room for a soulmate in that.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, it made me think about those things. I'm like, whoa, maybe there are different paths to finding your soulmate than just all these traditional things that we do, to try to lure or attract or impress.
And what if you find out your soulmate is maybe, really, really injured, or not exactly the physical image you have in mind, or not the, they're a trash collector or something, not the occupation that you think you deserve to be with.
Not the social status that you want in the back of your mind either.
Right. So then you have all of those judgments to deal with.
Yeah. It's so that was, I think that was what helped me, seeing that. It's like, okay, now there's a possibility. And so I just sort of let go. It's almost like the whole thing with when Vivian did the healing on my elbow, I really just sort of let go from all of it. And just said, anything that I focus on is probably going to be a judgment or a me trying to force it. And
you're smarter than I was.
I did. I almost took an attitude of I really don't care. Let's just take an attitude of I don't care. And then I saw the results. And then within a couple of weeks, there was no pain, and I was back playing volleyball. And oh wow, I can serve. It was just like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Well, I could, because I got out of the way.
Right. Yeah. That's what I've been doing with the back in time session. And it is feeling better. There's still certain movements that like wait at this, not, it varies. Like just lifting up a plate at this, with this movement, that's what hurts. But lifting heavier stuff this way or doing push-ups, that's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's things are migrating to those little microfiber adhesions somewhere else, just on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But for 3 months, it was really quite painful. Just like any little, doing these little movements and lifting up my phone. I can still kind of feel that, but like everything was hurting. So now it's way better. Even though I typed those 15 readings in the last couple days. So it's not carpal tunnel. That's the first thing that everybody says if I mention it. So.
Yeah. I'm also trying to think. That's interesting that you would say that too, because we had a conversation about everyone seems to kind of inject what they think it is right away.
Yeah.
So even at my dream group, I really mentioned that I did my dream about the chiropractor and the allergies and the other physician coming in to try to treat me and me throwing him a box at him. I should do a video on that dream. And I talked about how people were very eager just to jump in and tell me why I got better from the flu or why my allergies healed. And I really even shared, it's like I have to kind of be conscious and just sort of say, thank you for that opinion, but I don't think so, or just to say no. And that my inner physician is working on this, and that's kind of how it is. So, rather than letting that sort of twist and say, well, maybe it is that, maybe it was that, or I realize that I'm letting go of my own belief and my inner intuitive faculties when I do that, and when I start negotiating with other people, or when I start to disbelieve the true inner position, that this true energy body, spirit body that we really are at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Right. And yeah, I was talking to my brother, I think at Christmas, and he asked me, well, are you painting? What are you doing? And my oldest brother, and he's about 9 years older than I am. And well, my arm's been hurting, I'm just resting a little bit. He said, I hope I never get that old. And I just thought, which is totally typical of him. And I thought, oh, thank you for the empathy. Now I understand what I grew up with. It's like, it's not like I was looking for sympathy, but it was really striking of how it just totally got wiped away. We don't have to actually talk about that. And it got turned into a joke.
Yeah. And he's older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. I hope I never get that old. Wow. It's just information. I think it's kind of telling about what we maybe in our culture, or what we're kind of conditioned to sort of say or think or be at times. And that's kind of a fast, easy way to do that, and to turn it into a joke, or
and I certainly was not allowed to point it at what he had just done.
Yeah. And it was interesting too, when I was talking about this at the dream group, there was this woman, she's almost 90 years old, and it goes to our dream group, and I identify with her really well, because she says, I love life and I don't want to miss life every day. And so she's kind of like worried about her longevity.
Mm-hmm.
But she even said to me, she like looked at me and she said, after the dream, she's like, there are two sides to you, isn't there? So I was like, oh. So sometimes you get little glimpses of really interesting insight.
Mm-hmm.
In
right.
general, people don't necessarily say, they kind of like say, oh, well, your dream was there to, and maybe that guided you to do this or whatever, it may not have been this physician or your energy body, but maybe you were changing your behavior anyway. So people want to kind of like change this and sort of like kind of negate the possibility that we have this innate ability to heal ourselves. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then when you get someone who just says there are two sides to you, and she leaves it at that, it's like, oh, that's profound. I love it. Yeah. There are two Scotts in you. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say any more. That's all I can feel.
Yeah.
That was priceless.
Right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soulmate thing, it almost feels like I'm really like zeroing in on the specialty. Like you could get a soulmate, you could get a soul circle to enhance your meditations about the reading you got about where your soulmate is, and start having the circle support those visions and the inspirations that come with doing that.
And being a partner in your longing, if you feel that longing for someone,
Mm-hmm.
support.
Yeah.
Even if I think it's like, I've been trying to kind of meet myself in different ways lately. And ever since I had the sickness and my allergies,
Mm-hmm.
kind of lifting, I've been kind of like in a pattern of like I'm kind of trying to find my own soul again, just right this time in my life, not necessarily again, but
Mm-hmm.
so my circle has really helped me lately to just sort of connect and like understand where my own simple longings for my own soul are. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but the soulmate thing is kind of interesting, and now it's all across the board now. I'm not really focused on a specific person anymore. I'm just sort of let's
Mm-hmm.
see what this energy
Yeah.
brings me.
Yeah. I mean, you might start having dreams or visions of physical attributes that start getting pieced together into a person, and then boom, there he is.
Yeah, yeah, and and I could spend just as much time trying to control that situation and to
Mm-hmm.
manipulate it or to attract that and come up with something totally out of nowhere that's not necessarily in alignment. So,
Yep.
so it's, I feel like stepping back and just trusting that and letting my circle and whatever just nurture
Mm-hmm.
me feel my longing, me feel my questions, feel my judgments, feel my insecurities, and just feel through that and just realize that that's my job through it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And maybe like there's another knowing that's going to, through my doing that job, another knowing is going to take me there better than I can do myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
And I have been interested in Colorado again, so sometime
Mm-hmm.
soon. I don't know when.
Well, what was interesting about doing in the last 2 days these 15 was the almost like traveling to all these different places. And I could almost picture somebody with means taking me along on their soulmate trip, not to do the feeling for them, but to just sort of help lift their own feelings out of them about where they might want to go that day, because they have a draw towards it, or just showing them the possibilities and being open to the evidence of yes or no. That you know that was no, I got there and it didn't feel right, or yes, this definitely, I feel something here. So I could see that as a future thing of being part of the whole deal.
Well, yeah, just at least recognizing your feelings when you go to a place or a location
Yeah.
and just sort of seeing what that brings you regardless of an outcome.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
And
We're not going there to get your soulmate. We're going there to to open up to the feelings, because that's what will draw the two of you together anyway.
And I feel like too, sometimes people feel like there's this timeline they have to fulfill with a soulmate or a partner, and they're like, they see their clocks ticking, or they're like, oh, I'm almost 50. I need to do this now. And I don't know. I've started like thinking it's probably because I'm kind of convening with my circle more. It's like the whole idea of like time and space, just throw them away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because some of the, let's say I went on a trip let's say with the woman to Mexico, whose soulmate really felt like a hotel owner. We go, we find the hotel that feels the most resonant. We spend a week there, and she realizes that, oh, the beach, I really need to cross this off of where I feel the best. I thought the beach was where I would really want to be, but I really don't like it here. and then she goes back home and then finds that it's a Mexican hotel owner in her town, something like that.
Kind of like where a journey just slingshots you into what you need rather than the destination itself.
Right. Or she meets the hotel owner who happened to be on vacation in Mexico. So it wasn't that she has to move to Mexico in order to be with her soulmate. She just accidentally met him at the airport or something like that. Any number of possibilities.
And I think we just need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get out of the way, let it happen, and just to be open and recognize, okay, where am I stepping in, or where am I getting out of the way? So it happens. So, you know, that's probably like where everybody probably will have a challenge. Like, we have this desire, probably people like have this need or want to just find a soulmate or find someone that they feel completes them or whatever. And what if you went on a journey and you didn't find your soulmate, but you actually like learned so much more about yourself?
Right. Yes. That's, you're going to find out so much about yourself if you really embark on the journey of opening up to your soulmate. That's where the love and truth part comes in, I feel. That I'm just offering you this tiny little nugget, and the entire universe is open after that. If you spend time with that nugget and find out everything that it can lead you to.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. And it's, just like you said, just about everybody wants that connection. Few people are really blocked to it, but nearly the entire population. It's the strongest urge beyond immediate physical needs that it's the strongest force, really. That magnetic drawing of two halves of the soul together.
Yeah.
And then if you consciously engage it, woof.
It's interesting how, too, that you've written some things too. I'm not going to mention too much on this video, but how that was kind of a prequel, and your writing was a big prequel to a lot of this, and then when you just threw it out there, it was just sort of by accident. And so then I think how brilliant it is from, like, I don't know, it is something that people really desire and they want. And so we don't necessarily want to like tap into people's like quote egoic desires, but it's the same time I do think that there is like a soul longing that's for everyone. So
right.
And so maybe if that's behind that, that makes me feel really good, because it is kind of coming from love and truth, and then we all do have that soul longing that's within us and outside of us, and where we are kind of like searching for, that other soul or that soulmate or that connection that we know that we've missed or that's part of us over lifetime after lifetime, perhaps, if people believe that.
Well, apparently I've learned from Divine Truth videos that some people in the spirit world, that's their whole mission is getting souls, two halves of the soul together, showing people who their soulmate is. And wow, if I can start my mission early, cool.
Wow. But also you had to and you know, we're not going to talk about it too detailed, but you had to feel through your own stuff with your own soul
Yeah.
before getting to this too. So
Right.
that was so you really, a lot of this stuff doesn't come from just sort of like pulling it out of the blue. Like you had to feel through your own stuff with regard to soulmates and with regard to feelings and longing and rejection. And that was pretty painful for you too. I know that, but
Yeah.
so we're not immune to all that at all.
Right. No, and it's not necessarily a done, I want done. No, I've been at it for almost 8 years now. And it's not a happy ending yet. It's not an ending. I'm happy. I don't think he's happy, but okay. That's his part of the deal. I'm not done. I'm not satisfied at the moment, but I'm still on it, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and also being on it is to be also out of the way.
Yeah.
Not just be guided divinely and
The trusting, just what you said, just the trusting the divine guidance is like, no, I want to do something. I want to do something right now. Sorry, Rita. It's not your part to do right now. Yeah, but I know that it's supposed to be done and I can do it. No, sorry, Rita. Waiting is not my strong trait.
I think I fool myself when I wait for a little while and I think, okay, it's okay for me to wait, and then like a week or two goes by and I'm back in the same spot where it's like,
right.
you know. So that's a kindergarten trait. We're still there, or first grade. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting better with just letting people break all the crayons they want. Okay. Well, all right. I'll just be here, I don't know, making more crayons, I guess.
Making more circles, making more connections for people, being their cosmic realtor to their soulmate.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm living through my own not being with my soulmate, so I'll help others. Yeah, it's like all the pieces are coming together now. It's like, why am I so focused on a soulmate? Well, not for myself necessarily, although ideally, eventually, I mean, sorry, but you're going to come around again. You're kind of stuck with me. Hate to break it to you, but I'll see you soon. But in the meantime, why not let everybody else be with their soulmate, and then eventually it'll be by process of elimination, it'll have to come to me. I am that methodical.
Well,
I will get it done. And it will be in a loving way. He really has no idea what he's in for with me. Just no frame of reference to dealing with this one.
Oh, I'm in the same boat with you. So
Right. Yep.
They better get ready
Yep.
for what's coming with me.
No wonder they're staying in the shadows.
Oh, fun. I have a feeling that this is going to be our video we share.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, fun.
But just imagine that. Let's say college age people, students, know that there's a way of finding their soulmate. Just imagine if when you were 20, you felt I can really find that person that I can be connected to and grow with and find my passions and make things together and make things separately. And wow, that's like a really lofty goal to have, but wouldn't that be awesome?
And I think that maybe sometimes we have some of that ability already.
Oh, I totally did. I just had no idea, no way of articulating it, no way of understanding. I know I had the feeling in me, but the world showed me that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, or things like other goals could get in the way at that time too, and career and it's
having fun. The idea that you have to be with a lot of people. There's that, dogma out there.
Yeah. And then if you find them, if they're not perfect at that point in time.
Yeah.
So it's, I look back and I think that that's probably some of the things that I've struggled with in relationships even earlier on in my 20s. And, I may have stumbled across that soulmate, but then rejected them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may have rejected me just because of the situations we find ourselves in society and our culture. And, and then I guess you just have to wait and see. Like maybe time comes back around, perhaps.
Yeah.
Probably a very common story of people rejecting their soulmate early.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's possible just in the world today, how mobile we are, that we don't have a chance to get to know them enough to actually officially reject them. But also because we're so mobile, maybe we, just went right by each other. So I'm looking forward to knowing more, experiencing this more, having more people allow me to see their connection and where it leads, and having that, each one gives me a little more understanding of how it all works.
Yeah, and at the same time, I'm sure that, just with me too, there's a knowing that you have, then sometimes like not even knowing how it works, but actually just letting it kind of come through you is part of the exercise. Like at Dream Group, someone like brought gloves that they said, turned into some sort of like they had a dream about their gloves and they brought the gloves with them, and there was connected to a relative. And I actually said, can I touch the gloves just to see? And we talked about how sometimes like objects can be imbued. And I said, I don't know anything about this, and I don't know what I'm to do, but I'd like to just touch your gloves and see what comes to me. And so they were open to that. And so it wasn't a thing that I felt like I had to practice or I had to do. I just had to be open. And just to share honestly with what I felt. And even if it was so small or so insignificant, I just was honest. I said, this is so soft, and I feel like there's some sort of pet involved with this, a dog. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. And I don't know if that helps you or not, but that was all that I did.
Yeah. Right.
And I didn't have to explain it. I just felt like, let's just let it go through.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's what I've been doing with the soulmate readings. I mean, uh, yeah, psychic things are happening all the time with everybody. And to develop your psychic abilities, you're not really developing, you're just paying more attention. I feel like we all have them. It's just a choice to pay attention, really.
And then just to recognize all the supernatural things that happen in the world daily, hourly, by the minutes, that maybe we're just not seeing right away. So,
or we're explaining away. Yes.
Explaining away is very common. Oh. Yeah, what if we didn't explain those things away?
Yeah. Right. One common theme that I noticed coming through with everybody was waterways. I really felt a lot to do with water, rivers, ocean. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot in that, in even that, just where the waterways are on the planet is telling. It's telling us something. It's just a matter of tuning into what that is. And I can't offer what that is at the moment. There's just a feeling that it's telling us something. Not to mention all of the diverted waterways. That came up too. Rivers being diverted and drained, and what that does to us. And, there's something symbolic in there.
It's there, even like the Celts had like a really interesting view on water and waterways and rivers, and something I read, I think it's Tom Cowan, I don't know, he has a chapter in the beginning of one of his books where he talks about where do rivers come from. So, and it's talks about I think it's Shannon who actually looked into the pools of wisdom that were hidden away. And she went into the forest and she looked into the pool of wisdom that the Tuatha or the wise ones hid away from the rest of the world. And she was a woman as well, and so she wasn't allowed, but she snuck in and she actually found the pool of wisdom, gazed in on it, and got all the knowledge. And then she fled because she knew that was forbidden. She fled, and then the waters rose up and chased her all across Ireland. And so it's and then the lore is that the River Shannon was carved because she dared to look into the pool of wisdom and defy the convention to actually gain knowledge. And so through that gaining of knowledge and through that bringing about that intuitive psychic kind of stuff, it actually the river chased her across all of Ireland and carved out its own waterway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the nice metaphor for rivers. It's like that whole idea of, and psychic development, that idea that we can look into those pools and those things of wisdom, and we have to realize that will chase us, probably.
Yeah.
Or we can explain them away and let the river just flow around us. I don't know. Are we willing to...
Almost like a metaphor for the responsibility of accepting the, for saying, yes, I will embark on even the seeking out of my soulmate right now. Okay, here you go. Here's the responsibility. One by one, it's time to work through it.
And if you leave a trail of a river behind you, then maybe they can find you. So
Yeah,
you never know.
right.
Carve out a river for yourself and carve out through your seeking and through your quest. Um, Maybe that's enough to actually allow that soulmate to actually come forward somehow to find you as well
Yeah, right.
through
Yeah.
that responsibility of like actually going and trusting and getting in that whole river of truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You could, it could be you seeking, going different places and really having that longing and someone feeling, just this tug on them and that action just bringing them to you. Or it could be simply um, if this is what the guidance tells you, to just feel the longing and stay where you are, and they'll come to you. There's no, yeah, it's all individual as to, who you are, what your personality is, your qualities, their passions, their interests, yours. It's all such so many variables that there's no science. Well, I don't know, maybe there is eventually that will be figured out, but it's all about just being open to any of the information that can come through.
It's almost like you create a kind of gravity. Like
Yeah.
stay in like a love and truth spot, whether that's I'm going to stay in place and really feel my longing, or I'm going to take my own responsibility and I will travel and keep this longing with me, and I will, but also learn about myself and know that this is part of an intention of like not necessarily me doing the work, but of like this whole universe spinning to like help bring the soulmate along. It's almost like we create our own gravity. So long as we don't try to explain it away, and as long as we don't try to manipulate it or um, or force something else on an agenda that we know is not loving or truthful.
Yeah, right. The gravitational pull. Yeah. And to believe that the universe is rooting for you, because this is something that God wants. That's why it was created. God wants all the soulmates to come together, because the creative ability is magnified so exponentially when the two halves are working together. That's what I feel. I haven't actually witnessed it, but that's what I feel is the truth. It's like I can do a lot, but wow, when we actually come together in a loving and truthful way, maybe we can create another universe. I don't know.
Wow, that's yeah, I think that's true. And who am I to like explain that away or to say that's shocking to say that we couldn't create another universe? I mean, that's so you actually took it to like the farthest extreme right away.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
We could build a house together.
Yeah, so many people are like, we could actually have our own business. We could build a house. We could share an apartment. We could do this. Why don't we just create a whole universe? You went there fast. You went there quicker than anybody. That's incredible.
That's hilarious. You gotta say something. You have to say something. You should see it.
I'm just like shocked, and it's actually profound. But yeah, it makes those other things seem so small. Those like, oh, so what? You're gonna have a house. You can have a car. You can have a mortgage together, or have the 3.2 children. And, um, yeah.
We're so ridiculous. Oh.
I like that idea. Let's create a new universe together.
I just
And,
have to say thank you for actually, hearing that and feeling it and pointing out, like, and not just letting it slide by.
oh, it was like the dodgeball ball hitting me in the face. It was really good. You know, but not in a painful way with those
Yeah.
red rubber ball painful stuff. So yeah. And Rita makes a soul circle for you to expand the universe through searching for your soulmate. So
I feel like this is where it's going. I feel like young people today are like given this where they're not gonna get this from everywhere, that's for sure. But given this information, they're just gonna like latch on and know it in their being to be true. And that's where it's gonna go. And people who are not on board, you're gonna get shaken the off the ride here, I think.
yeah, and eventually you have to like find the hitchhike back onto the real world here. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's good when people get thrown off the ride first. I mean, of course, like people who are part of this can go faster and build universes faster with their soulmate. But yeah, I think we each had to fall off the ride to kind of arrive.
Oh, I don't know, but just now I just had this feeling that the souls wanting to incarnate now are just like we were talking about earlier. Um, how do we even know? We might just be passing them or rejecting them, but I feel like the souls now are going to be coming in to where they can find each other easily, quickly, and recognize. I feel like that's part of where we're going. I have no evidence to show at the moment, but that just really struck me as you were talking.
I like it. Certainly like it.
Yeah. And that'll be part of, if we make it out of where we're going right now, that'll be part of why we make it out.
Well, even like it gives me hope because I realize that like, as much as, we don't like to think of it, maybe our broken world now can be the compost for something amazingly wonderful when new souls incarnate on this planet.
Right. And look, we've made it impossible for young people to have those little dreams that you were just get a mortgage, live together, have a car and family and food on the table and a decent job. No, they don't even, that's not even a want because it's not possible on $7.25 an hour. So here you go. It's either this or make a new universe. I'll choose the new universe. I'll choose my soulmate because we're going to be struggling, so we might as well do it together. And possibly make it so we're not struggling.
I think we just had like one of the best talks we've ever had here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good.
Good. Well, when I edit this out, it'll be kind of fun. I don't know if I'll do it like 3 or 2 or just one big one. I don't know. So kind of nice that it just started recording.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to do anything else while we're on here, or is this good? Let the universe like Oh,
Right.
I love that though. Let's find your soulmate, create a new universe. Who needs a house or
Yeah, skip this shit. Boy.
open it up.
Yeah.
Find your portal, jump through it, create a new place.
Yeah, you want to shut down the government? All right. See ya.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.